You don't want to make these mistakes. Here are the top 6 mistakes that I see homebuyers make. The first mistake that I see is that potential homebuyers don't think that they can afford a home and that it is not in the cards for them. Now, that's not to say that anyone can buy a home whenever they want to. You have to be prepared to buy a home and you have to be able to afford it to a certain extent. But before you write off the fact that you don't think you can afford to buy a home, it's super important that you talk with a lender. You may be surprised what you can't afford or what programs you might qualify for, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. And even if you talk with a lender and you're not quite there yet, they'll set you up with the proper game plan so that you could achieve the goal of purchasing a home. Mistake number 2, the potential homebuyer doesn't actually understand the long-term effects of purchasing a home and the equity that they can gain, that is financial stability and everything like that. Purchasing a home is a big deal and it's expensive, but there are so many pros that come with purchasing a home. So proper education is really important. And I think that without proper education, home buyers are left a little bit confused. Mistake number 3, rushing the process. This process was not designed to be rushed, which is one reason that we encourage talking with real estate agents and lenders prior to beginning the home search. If you can build relationships with your agent and lender ahead of house hunting, the process is going to go much smoother for you. And if you are rushing into things, contracts, numbers, all of that stuff might get overlooked to a certain level. And there are financial consequences if you aren't reading the contracts or you aren't asking the right questions. The fourth mistake that I see home buyers make is they don't separate what they need in a house and what they want in a house. And what happens when you do that is you're setting unrealistic expectations. So you start to get nagged out as you go tour homes because you're expecting to see the 10 things on what you think that you need in a house. Whereas if you actually sat down and thought about what you need versus what you want, you'd probably find more good in the houses with that mindset. Now, that thought process is not to be confused with settling. We would never want you to settle on a house, but I do think that if you're open-minded, you can check off a lot of boxes if you understand what's truly necessary and what might not be necessary at this time. Number 5, don't let your emotions take over. Surprisingly, this is easier said than done, but it's super important that while you are searching for a house and even through the escrow period, that you stay practical and objective. The 6th mistake that homebuyers make is they forget to think into the future. Now, if you are purchasing a home right now and you plan on owning it for 5+ years, which we do encourage in a market like the one that we're in, think about it. Are kids in your 5-year plan? What is in your 5-year plan? And are you thinking about checking off some of those boxes as well? Or are you going to have some life changes in the next 2 or 3 years and then you think back, I wish we would have had this in the house? If you are thinking about purchasing a home and you want to avoid these mistakes, you can absolutely set up a call with me and we can go over some of your hesitations or ways to avoid mistakes like these when it's your time to purchase a home. If you are a first-time home buyer, make sure you go check out my video that is on our first-time home buyer guide. I walk you through it verbally, and if you want a hard copy, below you can click the link to my team's first-time homebuyer guide. There are also links to search for Phoenix homes for sale, so don't forget to do that as well.